I was part of a successful mommy blogger group called Golden Moms. We created perfect family content, had millions of followers and sponsorship deals worth 6 figures. I thought these women were my best friends and trusted them with everything in my life. Until I discovered they were secretly filming explicit adult content with our husbands and selling it on the dark web, using my apartment as their filming studio while I was away, and live streaming my private life to paying creeps 24/7 without my knowledge. What I did with that information destroyed their lives, careers, and marriages forever. Hey everyone, today I'm sharing an absolutely insane Reddit story that blew up the internet. This is about a woman who discovered her closest friends were running a secret operation behind her back. What she did next will shock you. Let's call me Sarah. I'm 28, married to Jake for 5 years, and we have 2 kids. Emma, who is 4 years old, and Tyler, who is 2. We live in an upscale neighborhood outside Austin called Golden Keys Estate. Yeah, I know how that sounds, but the name turned out to be prophetic, just not in the way we thought. 3 years ago I accidentally became a mommy blogger. It started innocently. I was just posting pics of the kids on Instagram. But then the algorithm picked up one of my posts about morning routine with 2 toddlers, and within a week, I had 50,000 followers. In our neighborhood lived 4 other moms around my age. Katie, who was 29, Lauren, who was 27, Victoria, who was 30, and Natasha, who was 26. We all became fast friends. You know how it is when you have little kids and husbands who work constantly. We spent time together at the playground, organized joint playdates, shared our problems. When my blog started taking off, the girls suggested creating joint content. Imagine the reach we could have, Katie said, waving her hands excitedly. She was always the most ambitious of us. And so we created Golden Moms, a group of 5 friends showing the real life of modern mothers. Our content was, how to put it, perfectly imperfect. We showed both the joys and struggles of motherhood, but everything was beautifully packaged in aesthetic shots and inspiring captions. Within 18 months, we had accumulated 2.8 million followers combined. I personally had 800,000 followers on Instagram, and another 400,000 on TikTok. Sponsorship offers started pouring in. From baby food to clothing, from cosmetics to home goods. I was earning more than Jake at his tech company. We spent almost every day together. Filmed joint videos, organized challenges, showed our homes, kids, husbands. Our subscribers loved our genuine communication and real friendship. But most importantly, we really became best friends. Or so I thought. We shared absolutely everything. Katie talked about bedroom problems with her husband after their second baby. Lauren complained that her spouse was checking out younger colleagues. Victoria admitted she was thinking about divorce. Natasha said she felt lost in her stay-at-home role and wanted to return to her career. I was open too. I shared that sometimes I snapped at the kids, that Jake and I had become more like roommates than husband and wife, that I was afraid of losing myself in the mother role. We supported each other. When someone had a difficult day, the others would come over with cake and wine after the kids went to bed, of course. We babysat each other's children, organized joint weekends, even went on vacation together last summer. We rented a big house in the Hamptons for 2 weeks with husbands and kids. That's when I first noticed the strange things, actually. On the 3rd day of vacation, I woke up in the middle of the night. Tyler was crying. I went to his room and accidentally looked out the window. The terrace light was on, and I saw silhouettes. Katie and Lauren's husband, Andrew, having a very intimate conversation. She put her hand on his chest. I thought I saw them kiss, but I wasn't sure. Maybe it was just the angle. The next morning, Katie was normal, as usual, cheerful and open. Andrew acted normal too. I decided I dreamed it, or imagined it. But then, there were other moments. Victoria once mentioned she knew where Jake bought my gifts, though I had never told her. When I was surprised, she stammered and said she just saw similar jewelry on Instagram. Natasha knew exactly when we'd have bathroom renovation at home, though I had only mentioned it in passing a week ago. Lauren once said, "Oh, you have new bed sheets?" though I had bought them just yesterday and hadn't had time to mention it. Small things, basically. I attributed it to us being very close and communicating a lot. But now, looking back. In March this year, strange things started happening in our neighborhood. Neighbors complained about noise at night from apartments where the Golden Moms live. The management company received several anonymous complaints about suspicious activity in our homes. We laughed about it. Jealous neighbors envy our success, Katie said. They don't like that we earn more than their husbands, Victoria added. And then something happened that changed everything. On May 15th, I was supposed to fly to my mom's in Chicago for the weekend. I took the kids. Jake stayed home. He had an important project at work. The girls knew about my plans. We even discussed me bringing them Chicago deep dish pizza. But at the last moment, Mom got sick, and the trip had to be canceled. I wrote in our group chat that I was staying home, but no one responded. I thought they were busy. Around 9 p.m., when the kids were already asleep, I decided to visit Katie. She lived 1 floor up. Her lights were on, but no one answered the doorbell. Strange, her husband's car was in the parking lot. I went home but couldn't sleep. Something was bothering me. At 11:30 p.m., I heard strange sounds from my front door. Quiet footsteps, some rustling. I looked through the peephole and froze. Natasha was standing at my door with keys in her hands. My keys. I watched as she quietly unlocked the door and entered my hallway. A man followed her, whom I didn't immediately recognize in the darkness. And then, oh my God, it was Dennis, Victoria's husband. My heart was pounding wildly. I didn't understand what was happening. Why was Natasha bringing another woman's husband into my apartment? Where did she get my keys? I quietly took my phone and started recording video through the peephole. My hands were shaking so much I could barely hold the device. 5 minutes later, Lauren came. Then Katie. Then Andrew, Lauren's husband. Then one Mal. Jake. Duh. My husband. I couldn't believe my eyes. All my best friends and their husbands, including my own, were entering my apartment while I was supposed to be in another city. I stood in the hallway in my pajamas, barefoot, with a phone in my trembling hands, not understanding if I was dreaming or going crazy. What were they doing in there? Why did Natasha have my keys? Why didn't Jake tell me anything? I sat in the stairwell for 2 hours. During this time, I saw them going in and out several times. They carried out bags, brought in equipment. Cameras? Lighting equipment? At 2 a.m. they started leaving. Jake came out last, locked the door, and went to the elevator. I hid around the stair corner. When everyone was gone, I returned to the apartment. Jake was already sleeping. I quietly walked through the house. Everything looked normal. Well, almost normal. The bedroom had a strange smell. Not strong, but unfamiliar. Sweet. On the nightstand lay a stack of tissues that hadn't been there before. The bathroom was too clean, like it had just been cleaned. And also, in our bedroom, a lamp was at a different angle. I always positioned it a certain way, but now it was turned toward the bed. I didn't sleep all night, trying to understand what was happening. The next morning I acted normal. Made breakfast, fed the kids, chatted with Jake over coffee. He was absolutely calm, even asked how the evening with Mom went. I lied that we talked on the phone for a long time. When Jake left for work and the kids were playing in their room, I began investigating. First, I checked all possible places where my spare keys could be hidden. In the kitchen box where I usually kept them, there was only one set for the car. The apartment keys were gone. So someone had taken them. But who? And when? I already remembered. A month ago we had a girls' night at my place. Watched movies, drank wine, chatted until morning. The girls even stayed overnight. The husbands took the kids for the evening. Maybe then. Then I started checking my phone. In our group chat, there wasn't a single message yesterday after lunch. Very strange. Usually we texted constantly. I went to each girl's Instagram. They all had stories, quiet evening at home, me time, cooking dinner for hubby. Posted at different times, between 8 and 11 p.m. But I had seen them all in my apartment at that time. So they were deliberately creating alibis. My hands started shaking again. What the hell was happening? I decided to talk to Katie. She lived closest, and I considered her my closest friend. I went up to her around noon. Katie opened the door in a robe, looking sleepy. Sarah, hi, how was the trip to Mom's? She asked with a smile. Good. I lied. What did you do yesterday? Nothing special. Was home. Husband worked late. I even went to bed early. Was really tired. She looked me straight in the eyes and lied. Lied with such ease that it scared me. Where's your husband now? At work. Where else? Katie yawned. Sarah, are you sick? You look pale. I'm fine. Just slept poorly. I returned home with a heavy feeling in my chest. One friend could lie for some reason of her own. But all five? And my husband too? That evening I very carefully brought up the topic with Jake. Jake, did you go anywhere yesterday? No, was home. Worked, then watched TV. Until what time did you work? Well, until 11 probably. Why? Another lie. Just the neighbor said she saw you in the yard yesterday evening. Oh, right, yes. I went out to take out the trash. Totally forgot. He was lying on the spot, and it was obvious. The next few days I observed. Studied everyone's schedules, memorized details, analyzed behavior. Our Golden Moms group worked as usual. We filmed content, communicated with subscribers, received new offers from advertisers. But I noticed oddities. The girls started exchanging glances more often. When I entered a room, they fell silent. Several times I caught studying looks directed at me. And then I noticed they started planning shoots without me. Sarah, maybe you should rest today? Victoria suggested during another meeting. You look tired. We'll film something simple, a makeup review or dinner recipe. This had never happened before. We always filmed together, that was our thing. 5 friends, 5 perspectives, 5 families. Bye, see you. I agreed and went home. But instead of resting, I drove to a cafe across from our neighborhood and sat by the window, overlooking the courtyard. Half an hour later I saw 2 cars pull up to the entrance. Men with suitcases got out. Obviously some professional equipment. They went to Katie's building. I sat in the cafe until evening. During this time, I saw various people coming and going. Men, women, mostly young and attractive, all with bags or small cases. What were they filming? The next day, I decided on a desperate step. I downloaded a hidden video recording app and bought a mini camera online with 1-hour delivery. If they were using my apartment, I would find out what for. That evening I announced to Jake that I was going to Mom's for a week. She really was sick, and it was the perfect excuse. He reacted too calmly, even seemed happy. Of course, honey. Go. Mom needs help, and I'll manage. He used to always get upset when I went away for long periods. I installed a camera in the bedroom, camouflaging it in a photo frame on the dresser. A second one in the living room, on the bookshelf. I set the phone app to record on motion detection. I left in the morning, and that evening, sitting on the train, I received the first notifications. With trembling hands, I opened the app. What I saw turned my life upside down. The video showed my bedroom. Professional lighting, cameras on tripods, and Lauren, undressed, with some man I didn't know. They were being intimate in my bed while cameras recorded everything. Off camera, I could hear Katie's voice. Now turn to the camera. Yes, like that. Show your face. She was directing an adult film. In my house. In my bed. I watched the video several times, not believing my eyes. Then I opened the living room recording. Natasha was there. Also undressed. Also with an unknown man. And again Katie's voice off camera. All night I received new notifications. I watched different people pass through my apartment. Men, women, couples. How they set up and removed equipment. How my friends managed the process. And the worst part. I saw Jake. He wasn't just aware of what was happening. He was participating in the organization. Helping move furniture, checking cameras, giving instructions. My husband had turned our home into an adult content studio. I cried on the train all the way to Chicago. Passengers looked with sympathy, thinking I had suffered a loss. And they were right. At Mom's, I locked myself in the room and started digging deeper into the internet. If they were filming adult content, they were selling it somewhere. It took 2 days of searching to find it. The site was called Mom's Secret, and specialized in content with real housewives. And there were videos with my friends. Lauren under the pseudonym, Sweet, Mommy Alicia, Natasha as Spicy Mom, Katie, even Victoria, who had always been the most modest, wild housewife Sophie. Hundreds of videos. Thousands of dollars in revenue. Comments from men discussing my friends' bodies and fantasizing about them. And I found an exclusive category with the most expensive videos. There were videos shot in real homes with family atmosphere. In my house. My bed, my living room, my kitchen were used as sets for adult entertainment. But that wasn't all. In the coming soon section hung an announcement. Special project. Mom and Dad at home. Real married couple in intimate setting. With a photo of Jake and Lauren. My husband was going to star in adult content with my best friend. For 3 days I couldn't eat or sleep. Mom thought I was having a nervous breakdown and offered to call a doctor. I said Jake and I were having problems and she didn't insist. During those 3 days I transformed from a naive woman into a detective. I studied all their social media profiles for the past 6 months. Analyzed posting times, geolocations, photos. Found patterns. Every time one of us suddenly went away or was busy, filming took place in that mom's apartment. A month ago, Victoria went to her mother-in-law's on sudden notice. At that time, a video appeared on the site filmed in her bedroom. 2 weeks ago, Natasha had a pipe burst and spent the night in a hotel. The next day, videos from her living room were uploaded. And in February, when I was sick with strep throat for 3 days, 5 videos from my apartment were uploaded. They used our homes constantly. I just never paid attention. But the most disgusting thing I discovered was in the exclusive section. There was a special rate for VIP clients. Spy on real mommies. Hidden cameras in our homes streamed our private lives in real time. Men paid to watch us bathe our children, change clothes, sleep. The description read, 5 real housewives from an elite district. Watch their real lives 24/7. Special notifications when mommies shower or change clothes. I was physically sick, but I had a plan. First, I downloaded and saved everything. Every video, every photo, all revenue statistics, user comments. Created several backup copies on different devices. Second, I found a lawyer specializing in cybercrimes. An online consultation showed I had a case worth millions. Illegal filming, privacy violations, use of image without consent, creating adult content using someone else's property. Third, I contacted a private investigator. For $2,000, he agreed to conduct an investigation and gather additional evidence. And fourth, I decided to give them a chance to expose themselves. I wrote in the group chat, "Girls coming back tomorrow. Missed everyone. Let's have a big reunion." I brought gifts from Chicago. The responses were full of enthusiasm. "Oh, can't wait. It'll be fun." But I knew they were thinking about a completely different kind of fun. I returned to Austin on June 1st. The kids joyfully hugged me. Jake looked relaxed and satisfied. I wondered how much money he had made that week selling my private life. "How's Mom?" he asked over dinner. "Better. How are you? I bet you missed me." "Of course I missed you, but I managed." He smiled. Even found some time for myself. Time for filming adult content, yeah. The next day, I organized a Golden Moms meeting at my place. Said I wanted to discuss new development plans for the project. Everyone came. Katie, Lauren, Victoria, Natasha, T. They brought cake, flowers, gifts for the kids. Looked like caring friends. We sat in the same living room where they had filmed inappropriate content 3 days ago. "Girls," I began, "I want to talk about our future." "Oh, that's interesting." Katie leaned forward. "What ideas do you have?" "Well, I was thinking about expansion. About new content formats." I paused. "For example, more intimate content." They exchanged glances. Something flickered in their eyes that I couldn't recognize before. Greed? Yaren? Calculation? "What do you mean?" Lauren asked carefully. "Well, you know, adult platforms are very popular now. OnlyFans, for example. Moms there make huge money." Natasha giggled. "Sarah, are you serious? We make family content. Why not? We're beautiful, interesting women. And we're not girls anymore. We understand that intimacy is a normal part of life. Katie slowly nodded. Interesting thought. What exactly are you suggesting? And that's when I dropped the bomb. Actually, girls, I already know what you've been doing. The room went dead silent. I could hear my own heartbeat. I know about Mom's secret. I know about the cameras in my apartment. I know about the live streams of our private lives. I know about everything. Victoria went pale. Natasha's hands started shaking. Lauren looked like she was about to throw up. But Katie just smiled. Sarah, what are you talking about? I think you need help. I pulled out my phone and opened the app with the hidden camera recordings. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. I played the video of Lauren being intimate in my bed. The sound was on. The reaction was immediate. Natasha started crying. Victoria ran to the bathroom. Lauren just sat there with her mouth open. But Katie got angry. You set us up. You filmed us without permission. Like you filmed me for months? I stood up. Like you sold my private life to creeps online? Like you turned my home into an adult content studio? We never forced you to participate. But you used my house, my bed, my life. That's when Jake came home early from work. He walked into the living room and saw 4 women. 3 crying, 1 furious, and his wife holding a phone with explicit video playing. What's going on here? He asked, though his face showed he already knew. Your wife is crazy, Katie screamed. She's accusing us of exactly what you've been doing, I interrupted. Jake, sit down. We need to talk. What happened next was beautiful, Reddit. Absolutely beautiful. The lawyer I hired turned out to be a shark. Within a week, we had restraining orders against all of them. The private investigator found even more evidence. They had been running this operation for over a year, using not just our homes, but renting them out to other adult content producers. The total revenue? Over $300,000. My friends had been splitting profits while I unknowingly provided the most expensive locations. The divorce from Jake was swift and brutal. He lost everything. House, kids, reputation. The prenup I had insisted on thanks to Dad's advice protected all my blogger earnings. Jake ended up in a studio apartment, paying child support and alimony. But the real justice came when everything went public. I didn't have to expose them. They did it themselves. When the first news article came out, local mommy bloggers exposed an adult content scandal. They tried damage control. Katie went on Instagram Live to tell her side. She claimed I was lying, that I was jealous of their success, that I was trying to destroy their families. That's when I released everything. Every video, every screenshot, every financial record, every comment from creeps who had been watching us shower and change clothes. The internet did what the internet does best. Katie lost 600,000 followers in one day. Her husband filed for divorce and took the kids. Her sponsors dropped her immediately. Only family-friendly brands don't appreciate secret adult content careers. Lauren tried to disappear completely, but screenshots live forever. Her husband's law firm partnership was dissolved when clients found out about the scandal. Victoria's husband was actually the smartest. He immediately filed for divorce and got full custody, claiming she was an unfit mother due to morally corrupting behavior in the family home. Natasha had a complete breakdown and was hospitalized. Her husband stood by her, but they lost their house when legal fees piled up. The website was shut down by the FBI. Turns out, when you're streaming people without consent, especially in homes with children present, federal agencies get very interested. Several of the men who had been paying for our private streams were arrested. One was a teacher. Another was a pediatrician. The third was someone's grandfather. The best part? The criminal charges. Unlawful surveillance, invasion of privacy, operating an unlicensed adult business, tax evasion. They never reported the income. And my personal favorite, conspiracy to commit fraud. Katie got 3 years. Lauren got 2. Victoria got 18 months. Natasha got probation due to her mental health issues and cooperation with prosecutors. Jake got 5 years. Apparently, judges really don't like husbands who exploit their wives without consent. As for me, I rebuilt my life completely. The scandal actually boosted my follower count. Turns out people love a victim who fights back. I rebranded as an advocate for online privacy and women's rights. My new content about protecting yourself from digital exploitation has helped thousands of women. I wrote a book, Behind the Camera, How My Best Friend Sold My Life Online. It hit the bestseller list and is being adapted for a Netflix documentary. The kids are in therapy, but they're resilient. They barely remember the aunties who used to visit so often. I'm dating someone new, a cybersecurity expert who helped me completely secure my digital life. He thinks I'm the strongest woman he's ever met. The house? I sold it immediately. Too many bad memories. We live in a new place now, with the best security system money can buy. Sometimes I get messages from other women who found hidden cameras in their homes, or discovered their partners were selling intimate content without consent. I always help them. There are more of us than you'd think. The crazy thing is, I'm actually grateful it happened. I learned who my real friends were. Spoiler, none of them. Discovered my own strength, and found my true purpose. Oh, and one more thing. Remember that announcement about Jake and Lauren's special project? It never happened. Hard to film adult content when you're both in prison. Katie tried to contact me last month when she got out. Wanted to apologize and make things right. I sent her a link to my restraining order and my book's Amazon page. Some people never learn. But the internet? The internet never forgets. What do you think, Reddit? Too harsh, or exactly what they deserve?